Alright guys, it's Tombs and Tendrils. This is session 34. We're happy and excited to be here. We're actually going to skip doing the overview for last session real quick, just because we have a player who's going to be mobile tonight. And so we're just going to hop right into it. Okay, so I believe the team left off last time riding in that ship. What was the name of that thing? A gun cutter?
It was a gun cutter. We didn't give it a name yet. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just meant like the make and model.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. And so, yeah, you guys are just flying through these tunnels over this toxic river, and you can see like big old slugs moving around in it. It's really polluted. The banks are like kind of covered in trash and decaying, like, I don't know, machine runoff and whatever else. It looks oily and gross. And the river's steaming. You guys have been going at it for a couple of hours now. And you guys have a little bit of time to kind of think and get your bearings. Faxine, we'll start with you as far as what you would like to do.
Well, I do have this scroll that was given to me that I brought with me that may shed some light on where we're going.
Okay. Would you like to read that?
Yeah, is everybody here in the group? Like,
yeah.
or we're not?
So everybody, well, except for our new addition.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's here, and you can either.
And we're still in the cutter, like cruising along. Okay,
yeah.
But we're getting ready to go where we're going, though, right?
Yeah, and
okay.
So we'll just have you read that out loud, and
yep.
You can kind of determine how much of that you want to share with the group. But
all
just
right.
to share.
Let me just glance over real quick.
It's all good.
All right. I'll just read through this for you guys. Maybe this will help us along the way. So, I hope this message gets to you in time. The other Acolytes and I have made great progress in this place. The depths, as the Mechanicus call it. There is an endless world of wonders. Talking to the Mechanicus about it is futile in some cases, a subject that earned us threats of fines and bounties on our heads should we continue prying. The fact is that the High Lords and Fabricator Magos of this world knows about these depths and aren't talking about them. As of late, we have made camp regularly in the Nork Forest. You'll find its mention if you read into the reconnaissance archives dealing with the pushback against the Dark Mechanicus in the civil war that cracked the planet. It was named by a Dominus dedicated to the study of plant life for purposes of energy production and material uses. The forest was never fully exploited, though. There must have been resistance, for we can only find an occasional outpost at best. There haven't been any maps of this region. We only know due to Willow's vision that there are levels in the planet lower than this, levels that hopefully bring answers to only the great psychic mystery of the planet that we have been studying, but also why it is defended in the strange heretical manner that it is. As far as the forest is concerned, navigation itself requires great caution. It is a damp and foggy place. Fungal spores fill the air, and great fungal stalks make up the vast majority of the place. It's worth noting that long excursions require respirators and environment suits. We've lost 2 already to strange spore sicknesses. The place is bioluminescent in nature, which only makes the fog harder to navigate. In order to camp, we are forced to make nest atop the flat white-capped mushrooms, as other kinds appear to house creatures of strange origin. We've been attempting to leave for a couple of days as our rations were diminishing, but we're unable to find passage out. And this was written by Violet. Does that mean anything to any of you guys? Out of game, does my character know who Violet is?
Yes. So out of game, Violet is the lead Inquisitor, or not Inquisitor, the lead Acolyte for Inquisitor Malin's lead Acolyte group.
Okay. And Willow is one of their psychers?
Yeah, Willow's their main psycher that was mentioned.
Okay.
I kind of went all out on that letter.
Hey, It's good.
I like doing props if I can.
Oh, that's awesome.
It said that there's a Magos who's in charge of like biological stuff going on down here in general.
It wasn't a Magos.
No, it was named
Roll
by
play that.
Dominus. Yeah, I will. No, it says it was named by a Dominus. There was a Magos. Where did that say?
There was a Fabricator Magos.
Yeah, Fabricator
I don't know what that
Magos. Oh, it just says that the High Lords and the Fabricator Magos know of these deep depths and aren't talking
You,
about them.
Titus, you have total recall as far as
Yeah, so you
important
win.
persons. The Fabricator Magos is Cassix.
Oh, okay. He's aware of.
He's the current Fabricator Magos, and you guys haven't. Really
Seems like it was a
looked into-
generic Dominus of some sort that named this place somebody who first discovered it. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
or at least recorded it.
we've definitely not gone this deep.
Of course, this was based off of Willow's vision, so maybe this isn't wholly complete or accurate.
Yeah, psychers are weird.
Hey.
I agree. Totally agree. We will be friends.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything more about this.
Sacrifice your souls to God.
Perfect.
After that.
We'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and pause right there. How much more time can you give us, or is that about it?
I'm good. I just might have to come and go. So
Okay. Perfect.
if I come back in, don't interrupt to fill me in. I'll just try to catch up to where we are. So.
Yeah. So there might be a lot of questions and stuff for our viewers right now. So why don't we go ahead and review what happened last session?
Got it.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. God dang it.
Had some anxiety for a second.
That's what I get. All right. So last session, it wasn't last week, right?
2 weeks ago.
It was
It
2
was
weeks
on the
ago.
10th.
It was on the 10th. What happened is was that your first session with us? No,
It was second.
Second. So we got our ship and we decided to go down into the valley of death by the Gross River. We met with.
You went up and saw Inquisitor Alvis.
Yeah, we went to the cool
Yeah, we went
casino
to the-
place
I thought
first.
was that? Oh yeah, because the first time we met you was at the bar.
Oh yeah.
So we went to the casino. We saw the gladiator fights. We talked to Malin, and we realized what he wanted us to do. We figured out that Flaxian worked with him, and that we needed to go down there. We decided that we were going to get all the information we could on Malin and actually give it to Alvis before we give it to Malin. 'Cause
Oh yeah.
Alvis is our boy, and Malin's just some bald dude. And people help me remind what happened after that.
We decided to meet up with the sororitas real quickly.
Yeah, what did we talk with them about?
I don't know. I don't like talking about
I black out. when you talk to
selective,
them.
non-total recall.
Turd.
I'm kind of curious. Does
Just
your
'cause
character
they're
not
your
like the
girlfriend.
sorority?
No, I specifically don't like talking about
Oh. You specifically, but as a character, you don't have issues with them, or you just.
it. They make me nervous.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
It's hot in here. So we talked to the sororities. I think we filled them in on what was going on. And did they have any information for us?
I don't remember that, but I do remember the last thing that happened was you scanning with your psychic abilities Titus, and then talking to the sororitas about
That's
it.
a big deal.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it was. Yeah. I figured out Titus is not actually Titus. He's a freaking clone or something.
Imposter.
I know, and I told everyone about it, except for you
Because I was sleeping.
No, you didn't tell everyone. You only told Joss.
and the
Oh,
sorority.
yeah.
And Cascade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
Cascade's the first person talking
My
to me.
character doesn't know.
Right. So
No.
And also Cascade said that she was going to kill me. So
she said if you did anything weird, we would kill you.
I always do.
And don't forget, we have our own personal pilot now, who is apparently
Phoebe!
Pilot first class Phoebe. That's what I had written down.
Mm.
Hobie.
And Choo Choo is in love with Phoebe. They become best friends.
She has a metal face.
She has a metal
She
face.
might have a metal face.
Might be mask.
Looks very close to her
I
face.
kind of forgot about that.
You forgot about Peebee?
Her friends call her
Phoebe?
Mallet.
Phoebe?
Hobie.
Oh, Dave. We're really.
I think that was most of everything that happened.
Yeah,
It was
I
mostly talking.
It was.
Talking flying.
When we got ready, and I think by the time that I had figured out, we were already like almost there.
Yeah, we were like arrived.
Mm-hmm. I
And
think that's
also-
it, Cody Bear.
Wilbur's introduction, but that was
Wilbur!
Wilbur.
beginning of the session didn't have any bearing on the other part of the session.
Yeah, that's like my new favorite card.
Right.
It was on the
right.
night.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I actually want everybody to pull out their guard characters.
Oh.
Oh, looky.
Oh, that's right,
We're
because
gonna
I met
transition
Wilbur.
real quick.
Turner. Cereal. I just wanted to remember before I looked at it,
No,
so
it's
he
all
wasn't
good.
offended.
And
So he
then
wasn't offended.
I think we gave
This
everything.
one's
So
first.
let's go ahead and let's go over our guard characters real quick. Just do a guard introduction,
Oh gosh.
and we'll start with Tanner and just work our way around.
Aha, my guard, he's a stormtrooper. His name is Castus. He's the only survivor besides Choo Choo of the original guard.
The Cadians, right?
Uh-huh. He has purple eyes.
Uh-huh.
Because he's
He looks
Canadian.
like
Is
Tom
he-
Selleck.
He's the one who's Tom Selleck
He does.
with
He's
purple
like-
eyes.
He has a mustache, some
Romantic.
scarring, smokes a cigar every once in a while.
Hubba hubba.
Our guys are going to be mustache buddies.
Yes, they are.
Compare mustache.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I joined this team, I got a grooming kit, and you better believe I use that bad boy every day.
He just pulls it out.
Nice and
All right, my guy is Wilbur. He is a big fat dude with a great mustache. He's got a heavy bolter, and he's not as good about his grooming as your guy is. And he was pretty lucky to help take out some Knight Armigers last time in Castellan.
Not a Castellan.
What was it?
A Knight Porphyrian.
Porphyrian,
The
sorry.
bigger one.
Giant
It
one.
was the first one.
The one that vanished into the mist mysteriously after you were done with it.
My character is Z. She is a heavy gunner. She has a big plasma gun, and apparently nobody knows what she looks like. She's just like
She just
full
doesn't
armor.
know his faces.
She doesn't. She doesn't.
faces.
That's almost like a what are they, Janissaries?
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
guard?
That looks
Yeah,
like
old
they're
mask.
like
The iron face people?
the Indian, like from India type thing.
That's cool.
My dude's Harold.
Harold. Harold's got nothing.
Legless Harold.
He's not legless anymore. He lost his legs in
Chicken
an
leg
incident.
Harold.
He does have metal chicken legs,
Yes, he
though.
does.
And they're pretty great.
For a squad.
Chain.
And it made the admic mad, and I don't care. It was fine.
Please
It
return
was
those
fun.
when you are dead. That was the best thing ever.
And Harold's not like a big fat guy, but he's definitely not like classy looking soldier. And he's just a nice cleric who likes to help people out and get his legs run over by his teammate.
Uh-huh.
So that's cool.
Don't.
He's gonna get in some dope aerial attacks with those spring legs.
Boing. That's true. But I need a new chainsaw.
Power.
Mm.
God.
You broke it.
You broke it.
You did do that.
Somebody-
You broke it.
Much-
Whoa. That's all.
My guard's name is Zuriel, but we call him Zuri if they remember what his name is. He's kind of chatty. He's an operator, so he drives things.
He's like an Uber rider.
Oh.
Cab driver Zuri. Yeah, I've kind of nailed down his personality to a mix between Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove and
Nice.
William Wallace, as in of Scotland.
Interesting.
That's amazing.
I know, what a combo.
Well, he's just, he's very passionate about the cause, but he's also not the brightest.
Right.
Who is?
Not me.
Neat.
That's less.
Well, so that's the guard. Okay, so just to get into this a little bit, we're at the medical outpost right now. Winds are whipping up as the storm in the atmosphere above, known as the flux, is filling the air with soft rolling thunder, and it's starting to rain again. 3 days have passed since the Battle of the Mines. The medical outpost has faced small threats of theft and sabotage as remnant bladed cog members in the area have been scouring for medical supplies and whatever else they do. Many of the knights that were present have either fallen or fled. The Mechanicus have eliminated many threats, but the combat out in the waste can still be heard over the storm, and in some cases seen despite the smoke and rain. Harold.
Hey.
You have been testing out your new legs and found that you're able to work them. Okay, but the pain is great.
Hey, I'm with Harold.
Hey.
Yeah. Yep. The Magi that doesn't approve of your implants has issued you pills to help with the pain. And actually, this will go for both of you, because I believe you had a respirator implant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now your voice is all funky.
The iron.
Funky dory.
Got one of those things where you hold your throat down.
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah.
Yes, that'd be funny.
No.
I mean, not funny. So as far as the in-game effect, the fatigue that you guys are dealt
Maybe it sounds like Batman.
is doubled unless the pain's warded off by the pill. So, like, if you take fatigue in your legs, it's doubled.
Where do you write that?
If you your chest, the fatigue is doubled. The pills give you a +10 toughness test to deal with the pain and ignore the fatigue for D5 plus 8 hours. +20 to the test if you take 2 pills.
Okay.
The bottle contains 60 pills. Whatever. The Magi also insists on giving Harold a full back tattoo that includes a barcode on the neck.
Hey.
This ink contains information regarding your implant and the retrieval process upon your inevitable death.
I'm okay with that.
Oh,
They have more arms than you.
I was gonna say-
not what you could do
they're
about
gonna
it.
hold you down.
I just don't want to steal my leg. You said 20 pills, right?
60
Oh, 60.
in the bottle. And so at this point, Wilbur has integrated into the squad. Other guard have been telling tales of triumph about it, about him getting here. And though that Night Porphyrian's wreckage has yet to be spotted, enough local soldiers who witnessed Wilbur's heroics are calling him Knightly Wilbur, or Knightly for short.
Calling him Nightly.
You gotta bounce.
Oh.
Let's see.
So when do I have to take the pills? Is it just like a regular thing where?
Every 4 to 6 hours.
Anytime you take fatigue, essentially.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It's not like a huge thing. It was just kind of a fluff item.
That'd be useful down the line. Yeah.
Ow.
It needed to be more fluffy. Cool. And then, what was the name of your guard?
Z.
Z. I might have to remember that.
With a
That was
freaking
rude.
plasma gun, that's gonna be dope.
I do have a plasma.
Our team just got a lot more. Yeah. Well,
A
between
heavy
you
bolster and a plasma.
and him.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, so I was talking to Bill about it, and he was saying, because like when you play Imperial Guard on the tabletop, you can take heavy weapon squads, and this unit's kind of turning into a heavy weapons unit.
It kind of makes
Kind of
sense.
cool.
Because also, the most vehicle we get is a light vehicle, anyways. We just drop down. We gotta be able to wreck some
So
stuff.
you gotta help defend the vehicle potentially against other vehicles.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah,
What do you think? I don't know.
I
don't know.
I honestly
I
I think it's pretty cool.
It's
So,
awesome.
At this point, an Elysian commissar named Kurt Paxton is driving through the area with a Captain James Lenore. You guys are familiar with these names. They're doing inspections to see if any of the bladed cog has hidden among the soldiers. They're also doing SWAT adjustments and regroupings. And so, yeah, when they pull up, more soldiers and stuff are getting out of a couple chimeras that are with them. Z, you're among them. And people are reorganizing squads, and so you guys all end up getting clumped together, and it's really convenient.
I have a question.
You have an
So,
answer.
with the 5 grouping, are we a 5-man squad or are we part of a 10-man squad?
So you're a 10-man. Well,
That would make
so everybody has companions. Because every guard character is 2
Yep.
people.
No, that works out. I didn't.
Except for him.
He's
Too cool.
Gotcha.
Couldn't take another after my last dad.
Oh no.
No, that makes sense. Heavy weapon, special weapon. What are the other weaponry in the squad?
So let's see. We have you're a stormtrooper. You're a weapons specialist.
Stormtrooper.
You got a heavy gunner. You're a Ministorm cleric,
Cleric.
and then we've got an operator. So basically, you guys are going to have support from a Scout, Sentinel, Walker, or a Tarox.
Yeah.
Those are the enlisting vehicles, but you guys can acquire more, of course.
That's awesome.
Many of the refugees from forgeworld borrow, which is not forgeworld Anvil, it's one of the 5 Anvil forges. That forge world is referred to as the Dead Forge, and a lot of those refugees have fled to Anvil, and in a lot of ways House Kaios and some other houses have been overseeing their absorption into the populace. And if you guys remember, not YouTube, but you guys, when we first started and you were on the orbital stations, there was a huge overpopulation of refugees up there, and getting to the planet was kind of a big deal.
Right.
So a lot of those people that have come to the planet still aren't on. They haven't made planetfall. They've basically been not stored, but for lack of a better word, stored on some of the floating barges that just kind of drift over the cities and stuff like that. And so the commissar is addressing you guys, and he's saying that they've tracked a bunch of bladed cog not refugees, but just bladed cog cultists. He's tracked a lot of the retreats to 3 of these barges in particular, and these are barges that have the great majority of the Borrow refugees in. And so he's saying that this is too much of a risk to the general populace. These barges need to be removed. An all-out attack would put Anvil in a state of panic, and they would question the integrity of the guard, and so their deaths must be made to look like accidents. The assault will be limited to 5 squads, and the game plan needs to be unified. It's got to either be, it's got to be unified because the barges are on a slave circuit, so they kind of drift together. And it's going to either need to be mechanical failure, oxygen contamination, or a thruster overload, unless a better plan presents itself. And this commissar is very curt, but he's also very busy, so he salutes everybody, and he's on his way to the next outpost.
I'm sorry. Did I just hear that we're supposed to be killing Imperial citizens?
Yes.
Man, it's like my first month as a stormtrooper, and they're already
For
like,
the Emperor.
they're his citizens.
We're going to a better place, honestly.
It's a good.
It's in service of us as a whole.
There we go. So oxygen, engine failure, and mechanical failure were the 3 things
So
that
like thruster over.
Thruster overload.
thruster.
So you said there's like how many of these do we need to cause? Do we need to kill like a whole, like how many groups are on a slave circuit?
So the barges, 3 of them are on a slave circuit because of their close proximity to each other. Typically barges like this are housing barges.
Right.
So it's like we ran out of room on the ground, we had to do something because refugees, so we constructed basically these floating hotels or complexes so people dwell in those. The barges can be in different states of wealth. The barge, for instance, that Anvil has a research facility on is a lot more, not lavish, but as far as available space and cleanliness, it's really nice. Barges like these would be a lot more run down. System failure would be a little more anticipated, maybe. quarters are going to be packed. Food's going to be not super scarce, but not necessarily available. It'll be like rationed out kind of thing.
Well, I'll go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, like, is there one that's like, so it's on a slave circuit, but is there one that like controls the circuit? Is there like a lead ship, or do they just kind of float together? And,
I would say you would need to research that one out.
yeah.
And the reason you're familiar with these kind of barges is because the Elysian regiment that's on this planet is garrisoned on a couple of these.
Okay.
So I have a suggestion of the options and a kind of question about it. If we were to contaminate their air supply, what would that actually entail? Like, what would that do to them? They just...
Depends.
Well, let's say, like, if we just suffocate them, they go quietly. And that happens. But, as it is to say, it gives us the best chance of saving a lot of supplies and equipment that'll be on the ships.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good idea. I was gonna say we could put orc spores in it, but then I remembered that.
That takes a while.
So that would be my main reason for doing it.
Well, I still have a mag charge.
No,
Or that.
that's the opposite direction, but all right.
True.
You know what? I actually really like that idea. And then if it doesn't work, there's the mag charge.
It's always good to have plan B. That's why we're in the guard anyways.
Yeah.
So we're trying to take down several of these simultaneously.
Mag
How many
charge
are there?
won't do all three.
Three, okay, yeah.
That's true.
But there's
I'm
5
thinking
squads.
if it goes to crap, we can take the farthest right one and like break its left thruster, and so it just crashes into the other two. That would, I mean, that's
But
like
they might have the opportunity to evacuate in that scenario.
that's true.
Essentially, we're taking down like unarmed houseboats, though, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
We're the
They'll have-
icebergs. They're
they'll
the
have, like,
Titanics.
Guards and stuff on them, because I mean the citizens of Barrow, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the average citizen probably has a weapon, you know. So.
Could be hostile guards, too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't know. The bladed cod could be all over it.
We're in a medical facility, right?
Currently.
Can I talk to the dude who gave me the AdMech dude who gave me the nasty tattoo about?
Not nasty. It's very
It's nasty.
How
precise.
He
did
turned me into Hitman.
he tried so hard,
You
Not
did.
so far.
He did.
but in the end,
It doesn't even matter.
because you're me.
I want to try and find him and talk to him about the best way to, as subtly as possible, contaminate an air supply. And he's an AdMech. He'll be fine if we just approach it that way. Yeah, man. It's just a question.
Oh, can I do an out of character suggestion, or is that the definition of metagaming?
Who are you suggesting?
I was gonna suggest to him that for that guy's help, we could offer him like, yeah, hey, any like robotics or cybernetics on there, if you help us with this, you can have them. And he'd probably give us a lot
Bribery.
of stuff.
Oh, like to help us complete the mission?
Yeah, he might be like, hey, here's this poison that's gonna work in like half a second. Don't drop it. You know?
Don't drop it. Interesting.
Well,
I don't know. So as far as metagaming, you just kind of have to determine what your character would do on that, or if you were keeping that quiet. I feel
I was
like
going to say,
Yeah.
we're a team. We're talking as a team. If you
Okay.
brought that up,
okay.
that's cool.
So we just count that as role playing then.
Perfect.
Cool.
So let's find a buddy.
All right.
We have a
Where is he?
rapport now. I got his legs.
So he's very nearby. He's just like assisting the servitor with something else. He's yelling at the servitor and he like smacks it on the head and he's just like, no, this goes there, that one goes there.
That's concerning.
All right. I got this. We're going to approach him and say, good day, AdMech friend.
Are you ready to decease?
Oh, I am. So we're about to partake in a excursion that may facilitate such a thing.
Interesting.
Me and my friends here have been issued a declaration that is most important to your group as well as ours. We need to find a way to maintain the mechanics and the special equipment that is aboard a ship, but clear it from biological interference as much as possible. We're planning on potentially affecting the air supply. I'm wondering if you had a good way of approaching such a thing.
Of course, exterminations are annual. This one doesn't appear scheduled. What's the location?
We know the location, right? Oh wait,
Classified.
yeah. It's just an air supply. Like, let's just say, like, it might be for a barge. Do you need to know, like, the location of it, or can you just give us the deets on how we could do that?
Clarification. A barge is sufficient.
Okay.
Analyzing data stores. Contamination of a barge is much easier than a full HAB unit. Any array of chemicals will work. My suggestion as a medical savant would be these three things. Are you looking for painful, silent, or punishing?
Silent and subtle. We don't need to torture these
How
people.
is painful and punishing different?
Is there one that's, like, quicker than all
Punishing
of
is extremely slow.
them?
Fastest as possible, but subtle if possible.
Okay.
As well.
We have taken whole HAB blocks and introduced cancerous cells into the air. It takes decades, but it is most efficient.
Sweet, merciful.
You have to maximize the work output to increase credit flow.
So they die of cancer by the time.
It takes generations.
Oh my gosh.
California.
Oh no.
We also have chemicals that reduce reproductive
Oh no.
anything.
It's like,
I look like a Ken doll. What happens?
oh no.
You watch Dogma?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well,
Just like a.
Every time.
you hush.
Those excess things don't go
This
in.
is a new video.
Everyone doesn't know.
We'll
You
just
just
edit
need
that
like a
out.
neurotoxin that just shuts down their brain.
Lovely.
Oh. Were you saying that between
Harold doesn't know what a neurotoxin is. He's a cleric.
Yeah, you're right.
That would be medicine.
Unfortunate.
That is.
Mm.
All right, so we got the poison, right?
Medicine.
Group 2. This Magos inquires, and he's like, are you trying to save bodies for potential donations to the Servitor Maxorum?
That is-
Maxorum.
We would like to save as many bodies and as much
No.
equipment as possible.
Not the bodies.
If it's quick.
Well, I mean, like, what if they're, you know, infected? If they turn those things into servitors, like, what is that going to do?
Still infected,
Yeah.
but free of the hive mind.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
I
really?
imagine they do some kind of probing stuff.
Is it like how infectious? Okay, I just feel like do we know about like that they're like mutants or stuff?
The guard?
Yeah, like
Jeez,
us.
I would imagine we don't know anything. We're
Because
like,
we've
"They're
fought
bad."
them enough times. Like I feel like we'd recognize that. Like I mean, obviously we hate mutants because we're the Elysians now. So like, would we? I feel like I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, but would I hate the idea of even using their bodies?
I will say this, and this one would be debatable as far as your knowledge. Servitors, this is really interesting, fascinating fact about the Mechanicus. When it comes to servitors, they only use humans. They don't like anything xenos, obviously anything demon. But like, for instance, if you were to kill an orc,
Yeah.
they have the technology to make them servitors. It's strictly forbidden. It's total heresy. And so if there was, like if you were to take a gene circle and try to make servitors out of them, that would just be like, wow, we're going to get the Inquisition on your head. Probably blow this planet up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they'll sort them.
All right.
And it's better that they go to some use.
I just feel really uncomfortable about it, but I'm like, whatever, man.
We can kill people, that's all you
You're
want.
the religious one. If you feel okay with this, then I guess we can do it.
He will serve the God Emperor, body, mind, and soul.
Okay.
So we're just supposed to do this in a relatively discreet, believable way, correct? We're not supposed to come up with the cover story. Like, if we poison them, it's just about it not being very public, not it being believable.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't need to be on the news saying, the guard just murdered everyone.
We could even if we had to shoot, we could spin it in such a way that I don't know, you could make it like they didn't have enough food and they were rioting
or they were just all
committing
blaming cock
heresy.
people.
Yeah. We could do it.
Okay.
This Magos pipes in again and he says,
Oh, oops.
we also have chemicals that are inhibitors that can induce rage.
Oh my gosh.
That does probably interest you.
I'm down.
Blood.
Yeah, let's how much rage? Is it well, I just want to know,
Scale of 1
is
to
this
10.
person gonna have you ever seen
28 days later.
Yeah, is it like that? Are they gonna go nuts and then they're never gonna come back, or is it just something that'll wear off after a little bit?
If it's in the air, it's continuous.
Okay. That's pretty cool, but we damage all that, all the stuff you're talking about.
Yeah,
the supplies
The only
and
problem with chemicals, I don't know the urgency of your mission. Stuff like that would need delivered.
Well, that was actually going to be my next thing is
Okay.
we should, after we're done talking here, find someone who knows these kinds of ships better
Mhm.
and figure out the best way to apply such things. That would be my suggestion. So can we have your cool all the chemicals?
No.
Oh.
Which means we have all but one.
That's a good answer. Roll for it.
We're bartering now.
Yeah, do a fellowship test. We'll see what you got.
30.
Roll a 000.
Somebody.
Or a 68, but not in the middle.
We're done.
Almost.
Cool.
Alas.
All right, well, then which one do we want?
I'm gonna say I kind of want it done discreet. What do you think, person?
Zuriel.
Every time.
Zuriel and Z, huh?
You're like Jerry.
Oh.
No, I'm wrong. Still not very cared about, but a little bit more valuable.
Zuriel, what do you think? I feel like the rage would cause a huge distraction, so we could go in there and I don't know, maybe blow it up if we needed to. But the other one's pretty quiet.
Well, if we're trying to simultaneously take out 3 barges, not us personally, but different groups,
Right.
squads, that was the word. It stands to reason that it would be more useful having something that maintained the integrity of the vessel and the bodies.
There's one thing we haven't overlooked.
Science.
What?
If all the people just drop dead, who's going to run the ships?
The
Autopilot.
Magos pipes in. Typically, the barges are run from control centers within the forges.
Problem
They are
solved.
pilotless. Only maintained.
Knew it.
The subtle way definitely leaves things more intact, but the rage inducers allow us to have more backup plans.
It's definitely a lot more distracting.
Yeah.
It's distracting. We can use more destructive
Lack
techniques
of
if things
oxygen
go wrong.
definitely takes time.
Something else
Yeah.
we need to look into would be if they have surveillance cameras on there. We need to make sure that those are hacked or something.
I was going to say, when we run into, if we can find someone who knows about these ships, I bet they're good.
Okay.
Just
Stuff
guys.
hurting.
I have an idea. I kind of like what? Oh.
What?
Oh, I was just making sure we weren't still just close enough to
I don't think
what's
he
his
cares.
butt.
He's like, in the middle of hacking off someone's arm.
Oh, sweet. Okay. You're busy.
I'm
He's
just gonna.
he's still there. But
Yeah.
Well, right, but
I'm just gonna motion him to come closer. Here we go. And I'm gonna say, all right, hey, this is what we'll do. I kind of like what Z said about there being more distractions. What we can do is, I think each team, there's five squads of 5 or something, right? We can go into the security. 5 squads of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
These are buddies, except for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're a squad of 9.
Oh, 49.
Embarrassing.
I don't need a buddy. I have no friends.
You don't know.
Anyway, we can all go to like the security center for each barge, and that way we have control of the cameras and everything. And then we just take them by force, and then shut off all the cameras, and then put masks on, and then release the rage, and somehow have a plan to get out of there.
Somehow.
Yeah, I think.
Fearless leader over here.
If we have, do we have Valkyrie support or anything like that?
You'll get deployed, do you, Valkyrie at least?
Yeah, if we could get them to come back for us, like we could do it quick. Go in, kill the guys covering the security feeds, shut off the feeds like you said, release the rage, and then run to the Valkyries.
I would like to bring up that if the ships are being piloted remotely, they might be able to have security taken out remotely as well.
Oh, that's interesting. So we got to talk.
We need to talk to
What are we
someone
going to
who
say,
knows
Z?
crap.
Yeah.
I just am wondering if we should have some way to make sure that we know whether or not the job is finished rather than just running away.
Good point.
Well, so it could be possible because we do have to work with the other squads. Maybe like one squad stays behind and takes care of security and or piloting, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to be paying attention. In theory, something starts going wrong, it's going to come up on their consoles and stuff.
Right.
So we have one squad do that, and then the other 4, like one might be good as like backup support, while the other 3 go in and
One per ship.
yeah.
I think, yeah, I like that. Is there a person we can talk to about the barges? Like, I know the commissioner just was like, hey, go do this, but is there did he just tell us to do it? Or is there any...
So Captain James Lenore is still in the area.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a Chimera ready to pick you guys up.
So we're taking the
To
rage.
go
Yeah,
talk to him?
I think we should take the rage.
Okay.
What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah.
Definitely going to be a little more entertaining.
It's going to cause more damage, but it'll allow us to engage in, if they have guns and, we can shoot its bow or we can make an explosion because they could have been doing it during the...
And it'll look more believable, I think, than all of a sudden, all people in the ships just dying.
Looks like couple other things, one of which is out of game, so I'm understanding. The rage thing is just they kill each other, right?
I think
Is that the
they
gist?
just fight everything that they see. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't really
Like
understand.
when we have
So
psychic
You
phenomena.
don't know everything about
Okay.
We're just not sure.
Well, so
My
that
friend
okay,
has
so
this.
that but that I was
This
trying to
chemical
clarify
work.
out of game.
it. No, you're good.
Okay, but just so I know, out of game.
You don't know.
Cody, I'm trying to ask you. Fine.
No, there's just more research to be done.
Can we
So-
ask
But-
So that tech priestess told you a little bit,
Okay.
but out of
that's
game,
right.
I don't want to tell you everything about the
Right,
product.
because then
because
we'll
that could
yeah.
inhibit choices.
Okay, so but as far as the information that he has given us,
Nice.
I can start bringing
it's inferred that they're going to kill each other.
causes riots.
Okay, that was my main question. Because my other concern
Because sometimes it's necessary for crimes to increase before an extermination can be issued.
right.
The
My,
mechanicals are dark.
my other concern, and I don't recall how much the guard are aware of gene stealers and stuff. So I don't know if we have a lot of information regarding what happens.
The hive mind's not understood.
Okay. Because
we just think they're mutants. Like, I don't think we even understand that they're aliens or
well,
anything like that.
so
Most humans.
that's my. I guess you can bring it up this way. Like, if they have some kind of alteration to their DNA, they might be immune.
See, I was thinking about that with the other one that makes everyone go to sleep. But
Okay.
but with this rage one, like if it's a riot and everyone's just killing everyone, you know, as far as I understand, that's what I think.
Mhm.
Then I feel like that would do more damage to the people we actually want to do damage to. And unfortunately, the refugees are just kind of caught in the middle.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're like SEAL Team 7 right now.
So I mean, regardless of which option we pick, like there's not really a best case, like best choice. Everything
I think we
has
just
like
gotta go with our
possible
gut.
pitfalls. Yeah.
Mhm.
But if
The rage one's not perfect because who knows if they'll actually all kill each other properly. But I really think that the idea that it's more believable is the most important aspect compared to just, oh, everyone passed out and died. That's weird.
You
so,
know, sorry, I was just gonna say one thing for the rage thing.
mhm,
I think we gotta blow up the ships,
okay.
because that's the only way to guarantee that we're killing everybody.
So then it would actually be more beneficial
Wait, we're
to
gonna blow up
have.
the ships?
It's the double tap.
If we're gonna blow up the ships, let's just blow up the ships.
We want
But
the distraction.
Yeah, but we don't want to have to like explain and be like, oh, the ships just malfunctioned and blew up. Like that just causes political.
Because if
problem.
they're
If
like,
there were people fighting and then they blew up, it makes more sense than them blowing up on
Well,
their
just told them they were fighting.
Plus, if the
Well-
ships blow up, there's no guarantee you killed everybody. I didn't say that.
But my
Sure,
other
we've blown up a lot of ships, and we're still there.
that.
my other idea though is that if we're actually gonna go with the rage situation, then it would be better to have surveillance intact, so they have video footage of like, man, everybody just went straight up crazy.
Yeah, and then we can actually just go kill them.
But
Like, hey, they're crazy.
No, I like that. So like,
oh, I see
That's
what you're
good.
saying.
I honestly, I don't want them to know that like we were even there. You know, like I think the commissioner wanted it to be like,
That would be the best case scenario.
right, like we could go in and they could see the riots, and then like we could, I don't know, blow up the security feeds or whatever, make it look like it was an insurgency or something, and then we could, you know, kill as many people as we possibly can while blowing up the ships.
Mhm.
Because like if it looks like it was just an inside thing, like I feel like just the refugees, honestly, who can't get onto the planet, like I can't imagine they have tons of food or tons of everything, you know, especially with how the robot people are, and they're like not really useful. We have too many, you know, they're not going to waste resources on them.
Mhm.
So I feel like riots among those people would be common, and they're probably efficient enough to not always get volatile because they're just like, oh, we'll just kill all these people before they go crazy. I am sure sometimes it does get volatile. So that probably wouldn't be, it would be unusual, but not so unusual that it would be like scrutinized, you know?
Okay.
That's what I think. I don't know.
I think we are thinking way more than we need to about this.
You guys.
I mean, isn't that
People
sort of the
die
point?
all the time. It's fine.
So Captain Lenore is approaching all of you. He says, "Brothers and sisters, how's it going?"
Captain.
I'm good.
Good.
Good. Have you thought about what the commissar said? What ideas do you have? I've watched you conversing, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to at least have something for me.
So to quickly do this, we relay the information that we just discussed.
Great.
Much easier.
That's really interesting. So, our day cycle is almost over. Night is approaching. We'd have to obtain this chemical to induce rage.
That is true.
It's on
I
the shelf
think-
over here, right?
You did point at it.
No, we'd have to go to the Anvil forges, but you all were also mentioning something about going to a control tower to block
Mm-hmm.
vid footage. Is that what I understand?
And piloting,
Because we have 5 squads.
Right.
right?
that we can use. We can split everybody up.
Well, so our idea was having one squad taking care of surveillance footage and piloting anything,
The controls.
and then one squad kind of holding back as backup, and another
then
three
one for
squads
each.
for each
Yeah.
charge.
So we have one support team, 3 insertion teams, and then one.
Maybe
control
one team to deliver the chemicals.
Well, that was my question. Is like when we send a team onto the ship, they each have to deal with the air supply.
Of their
Per
own
ship.
individual ship.
It's
right?
not like we can do that.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it is individual.
So each of those teams that go in will be responsible for taking care of it, and then we'll have one team on standby if for whatever reason things get crazy.
Yeah, like if one of them, like one guard's unit gets wiped out, and they're going to get wiped out, you know.
Right.
That's true. Well, this also brings the thought to my head. If you're trying to go covert, which we are, maybe it's better, that if we are seen approaching these vessels, that it's better that it's from within Anvil rather than from without. So if we, draw a line and pick up chemicals and then go, it's less suspicious. And that would also allow us time to drop off a squad at the security tower for detail work.
That sounds good to me.
I only have one question. Which of these roles will be the most? I mean, I think, honestly, we should be the team that takes care of the control center, because if that messes up,
The control center is controlled by the robots, right? Can I not remember the
The
name?
mechanicals?
Admech. Yeah. So it's not controlled by any humans, and I don't think the Admech would really care if we killed all those people.
There will be servants of the Omnicide there. Absolutely. It's not just autonomation as AI is forbidden.
so then my question would be, when we approach the control center, are we going to be violent in that sense as well?
I honestly feel like they would work with us. Like, I don't know, Captain. Like, I don't know how much of this information you're willing to let go out. But if whoever's over that control tower understands that, like, it's of importance not just to the Imperium but to them as well, that like this doesn't spread.
Well, as far as the common guardsmen go, you all seem pretty intellectual about this. Maybe you could try to find contact, throw them a bone, like, hey, we know you need servitors. We know you also have issues with population. Here are these 3 barges under the table that no one's going to care about.
There we go.
Don't mention the bladed cog.
Out of games, do we have a contact already? Like, is there someone that we?
Haven't been there.
Well, I just mean like within the mechanic of. But I see what you're saying.
This is tricky.
No, I like that. Let's. I don't think we should decide which team goes on the barges yet, because if we can make that deal with them, then we can leave one of the other teams there to do surveillance, and we can go in. Because just as Tastus, I would really hate to miss out on all that blood and killing. But then also from another perspective, like, we're pretty, I mean, like, this dude's got like a plasma gun, like, I feel like we're like a pretty powerful unit.
Sure.
And so having us monitoring would be a mistake.
There.
So, as far as the different squads go, we have Valkyrie crews, which are meant to deploy. That's one squad. And we do have 5 Valkyries at our disposal.
Sweet.
And then this squad is actually a little mixed. It's more on the side of heavy weapon support. So this would be essentially a specialist squad. We also have a sniping squad. And then we have 2 standard guard squads.
This is what I'm thinking. Let me think. So,
Well, do we have any tech-oriented squads then? Because that would be the people who I'd send to. I don't think any of us are actually very tech-oriented.
no, I think the Valkyrie squad would kind of have to be tech-oriented, right?
Because
We
they should
need
probably.
them to fly.
They're operators.
Right.
Oh, do you have techies?
I mean, part of the tech stuff over there is flying, although it's a less important part for our mission.
I think if we make the deal with the AdMech, maybe there's a way that we can just say, hey, like, we're going to do this for you, provide surveillance for us,
Could we ask? I guess I should just roleplay this. It's like, Captain, can't you handle the authoritative aspect of taking control of the tower? I don't trust any guardsmen in this world to be that clever.
The Lycians are typically on the front lines. I could see this being a front line.
Could you send us or whatever squad we choose to go to the surveillance tower with like a note?
A doctor's note, please. I'd like to get out of school.
But like an official statement saying that you
Like to
require
kill
the
these three
use of
parties.
We don't want
The
official
resources?
statements.
True.
on this.
fair.
We do have to be very under the table.
So are you
settled
telling
down.
us that we need to go to them and contact them directly? Like, this has nothing to do with you or the commissioner? Like, you want this done on a guardsman level to create the contact and everything?
Mhm. I can take a Valkyrie. And squad of the standard guard,
That works.
and I can go to the control tower. If you guys want to hit a Devo, pick up chemicals,
Let's do it.
that might be good,
That sounds
because then
like
you could at least lead out.
Yeah.
Out of game. As an operator, would I have kind of a pretty decent understanding of how these barges work at all? Worth a shot.
Yeah, that's true.
If you were to get into the mechanical room, you might be able to figure your way out.
Okay.
around it.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, we have to get the
We
design so that
we
we
need
can
some specs. to some
insert
degree.
the chemicals properly.
Otherwise, someone's gonna go in there and just throw like a grenade. Grenade.
I also wanted to know from El Capitan, if there, because like, you can pilot it remotely, if you can work security remotely, like, are there other engineering aspects that they manage remotely? Like, if something does go wrong with, like, a door seal or something, like, can they?
They'll have servitors and engine seers on staff.
Okay, but they don't really do engineering stuff from afar. Okay, that was what I was wondering.
No, if it's typically on site, but they'll also, if greater support is needed, there will be a deployment sent with proper resources.
Okay. Yeah.
They care more about the barges than the people.
So,
Wait, here's what I was thinking. So, Captain goes, deals with that. We go and deal with getting the chemicals and everything. And then, what's up?
Keep going.
just keep talking.
Yeah. Did you have another question you wanted to ask?
No,
Are you sure?
I'm sure I will have something.
No, just ask it right now.
I don't remember right now.
Oh, okay.
Train of thought got.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, not you. You're okay.
Oh, thank you.
That's cool.
You're more than okay, Tanner.
Yeah.
UI.
You're a Fortune 50 for us.
Oh, wow. So, this is what I'm thinking. So, one guardsman unit, the basic ones, will have one take the right barge, one take the left barge. We'll take the middle, and that sniping unit can be in like kind of a lower Valkyrie. And then like if someone needs like, hey, like we're getting hit, they can just hover and shoot at them.
So I just remembered what I was gonna mention. It's not a question, but he just said that if there are things going wrong, they send out people. So this has to be fairly quick
Right.
if they're getting information.
Do we have access to comm beads or some kind of voxcasters so we can inject the rage all at once between all three ships?
I think we all have micro beads. It's pretty.
That works for short distances.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
I mean, what's short distance and how far
Like-
apart are these?
I think like within a facility we could talk to each other.
Box
But
stations are also common on these kind of barges.
it would just be good if we could synchronize that as well.
Mhm.
Again, we
Synchronized
can always just
poisoning.
set a timer and make it nice.
Lenore
and quick.
says, well, we have 49 people. The other squads have Vox teams. Why don't we just pair you up with a Voxcaster personnel for
Oh,
this mission?
That'd be good.
Yeah.
that's good. We're 1 man short on our squad, anyways.
No, we're not.
I'm enough for 2 men.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on 1 second. You guys have more ideas?
I think I'm good there.
Yeah, I've gotten out all of my questions and ideas.
So it sounds like we're gonna freaking wreck this place.
Let me make sure I just got this all listed out. Nice and proper. Break it down.
Break it down.
You got 5 teams.
Right.
1 team per barge. Our sniper team to cover things if it goes crazy. And a team going to the tower led by our captain.
That is a separate team. So
we
the-
have
the-
6 teams.
Yeah. So the 5th team is like we have 6 Valkyries.
Yeah.
So I mean that can be Plan Z. Just shoot everything.
We'll just keep them as backup.
Super back.
Support team. We will be, first off, captain will take control of the tower, make sure things are covered there. While he's doing that, our team is going to be going to the depot and collecting the chemicals we need, passing out the chemicals to our teams that are going to be infiltrating the barge. Will we be doing that as well? Because then we're basically another team. So unless we're one of the teams that are going on one of the barges.
We are. We're going on the middle barge.
Sorry, we're going on the middle barge. Cool.
So the plan is to induce rage. What is our double tap initiative?
I say we plant bombs in wherever we put the air supply if things go real bad.
I imagine we can find the spot for their engines, or we can have the Valkyries hit their engines with some sort of missiles.
Powder attacks by looking like that's plan. That's bad plan.
Yeah.
That's like things have gone.
Could also overcharge those thrusters.
Overcharge them. That's what we'll do.
Essentially, at that point, they would accelerate skyward into the flux
Oh my
with all of
gosh.
those energy pulses, and that's pretty much suicide for any craft that's not shielded.
It's just such a bummer though, because like if we do that as our double tap, then we lose all the equipment and stuff. Like that would be a really nice win for everyone.
Plus, if we're promising the AdMech,
We actually promised it.
well, like we're trying to bargain
Maybe
dead bodies.
we can save 1 barge. Like if we send 2 of them skyward, and then I imagine they're not going to find any bits of that. That's just going to explode and be everywhere.
Is
So-
that how it works? To explode.
You don't know.
I mean,
Then we could just keep 1 and kill everyone on that one. And
How big a deal would it be like, hey, sorry guys, none of the bodies lived. Womp womp. See you later.
well, I'm not going to be the one making the deals with him, so I don't care.
The Lord Commissar was not concerned about the integrity of the barges.
Neat.
Okay,
yeah.
So
Plus,
let's just go.
even then, like exploding them is like if things aren't looking too hot, or
that's
if we don't
plan
think
B
we can
as
take
it
everyone
is.
out.
right.
Plan B, blowing things up with the thrusters. Plan C, shoot everything.
I just want to make sure. I just like we've already mentioned. We just have to make sure that it's done. That there's not anyone left.
Well, that's the other weird thing. It's like we don't get caught and a couple people live. Does that matter either? We've killed most of everyone at that point.
Well, I think the
They're
problem is, we don't know.
Only as long as that they're in the zone of contamination.
No. There's bladed cog on there.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know. Well, he told us about the bladed cog. He told us not to mention it to anyone
A
else.
lot of them have evacuated to those barges specifically.
Right.
They've been targeted because they were
So
tracking
we don't
personnel.
want survivors.
I thought we were just quelling the population.
No.
So it's a little less worse than what you thought, but not much worse or not much better.
It's like, oh no, 2,000 people went to those barges that have 100,000 each on them.
Holy shiz! That's how many people are in each barge.
Probably more than that. Probably like 500,000.
These are like little floating cities, basically.
I see. The explosions or the alternative plans are going to be more necessary than I expected.
Yeah. Yeah.
100,000 people.
So yeah.
Well, that's why the air supply thing is really nice because they all have to breathe, whereas explosions, like, that's a big explosion if we're going to be trying to take on
They
that.
don't all have to.
I think
explode.
the thrusters is a good thing because if we send the thrusters like sky high, even the people who didn't kill with the rage, like,
Yeah.
whatever.
So what should we make as our main plan?
The main
Thrusters
plan is
or
the
the
rage, and then that's followed by the thrusters. Because the rage is like the distraction.
Are we going to
resist.
assign every team that's going in to make sure that they're taking care of both then before they leave?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Are we also going to plant bombs in the worst case scenario, or do we feel like that's not necessary?
I don't
Send
know
them
if
up
we
into
have.
the flex, cause them to rupture.
We could put bombs.
I don't know if we have enough bombs. Like,
A bomb big enough to
Well,
take
if we're
out.
going to a depot to get chemicals, like,
well,
Lenore steps in and he's like, come on. We're the Elysians. We
that's
have
true.
bombs.
we have the
Elysians love
technology.
we have to.
We
take
And it's-
We can not rebuild it.
we can
blow it
unbuild
up.
But wouldn't it sending it up into the flux? Wouldn't that just do every I don't know. I don't think the bombs are gonna. I don't feel like we would be like planning all the bombs to do that. I don't think it'd be effective enough because I know.
Intelligence test plus 30.
Yeah,
Plus 30. Woo!
don't screw this up. Oh, 16. Yeah.
So what do you remember of the flux when you first came to the planet with the Cadians?
It was bad. It shut off the ships.
You guys literally went
It
into the waste.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That was bad.
So, like the bombs, like,
We lived through that too.
oh my gosh, how big is this city? So how far away is the flux from the ground?
In the stratosphere.
That's like when that hits, that's gonna be pretty. That'll kill everyone.
So essentially, you guys crash landed after you regained control of your Valkyries and weren't able to pull out of the fall.
Right.
So I mean, and that was an aerodynamic vehicle built for war.
And this
And
is a
if you have
freaking
like
tub.
a floating bathtub, you
Yeah.
threw it out of a helicopter, like
Yeah.
Plus, they don't
Crunch.
have piloting abilities on the vessel itself, so if we sabotage those remotely anyways.
And we can have the Valkyries on standby, so if they have personal vehicles or whatever, like.
But-
Just pew pew.
I have another crazy idea.
Oh no.
Good.
If we have control of the towers, can't we just autopilot those right to the ground?
Just down,
Yeah.
chance of
down.
survivors.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm saying we wouldn't have to worry about going to the thruster room, which could be
Oh.
across a city's worth of place.
Yeah,
We could just
can
do
we
the air
just have
supply,
them overdo
leave, and
it?
be like, bye.
Mm,
I'm worried that to get to the place where the air supply is controlling all this may not be close to the place where we
So,
set the
Can they
thrusters out.
turn the thrusters on from where they are? Can they just be like, all right, maximum thrusters into the
From the
stratosphere?
control center,
Yeah.
there would be safety code.
Yeah.
That you'd have to get through. So it's easier to do it remote.
mm-hmm.
I think them crashing it is like plan whatever, but I think we should just go for it.
All right, tell us.
Right. Yeah, I only brought up the bombs not because like I didn't think that going up and then down wouldn't kill them. I would like if we're unable to fulfill that mission.
If
Right.
something's also going to spontaneously combust, it's better that it happens in the middle of a lightning tornado than in the open air.
Yeah.
Where everything was originally fine, and then it was.
So the teams that go on board really only have two specific missions:
Rage.
inject the rage, mess with the thrusters,
Mhm.
leave.
There we go.
That's too.
Lenore,
Well, I guess we don't have to.
he starts commenting on it too, and he's like, honestly, kind of a work of brilliance if you think about it, because if there's media sources, and you know how those media drones get around, and there's media servitors and stuff like that, stuff's recorded. If the place erupts in a riot, you know that can be any sort of distortion in the chemical imbalance and stuff released to the air. And then if the ships, you know, malfunction at that point, it's like not really so much the ship's fault, but it causes staffing.
Right.
And so at that point, if a barge is lost, it's not anything to worry about.
Well, why
Let's
were
go.
they on? Why were they on the barges in the first place? Like, is this a normal thing? All these people, like, do they just
They're
go live
stuck
on
there.
barges?
Yeah, they're refugees. They have nowhere else
Okay.
to go.
Yeah, refugees. Yeah, so
Okay.
the barges have been there for a while. It's kind of like when a inner city is expanding and you know they're like, wow, we've got this nice residential park, but we need to make some condos, and then they start out looking really nice, and then a bunch of
Right.
ghetto people end up moving in, and
Where
then
all
they
the
get crime,
homeless
graffiti.
So then, if
And then they drive it up
Let's
into
go.
the atmosphere and blow it up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Classic.
Kansas City.
Are we ready then?
Yeah.
So are we?
Fighting. Yes, we are. No, I was gonna ask if we do end up having to release an official statement because, like, oh, people went crazy and the barges just lost power, control, whatever, like, this would be the best way to go about it.
Well,
Why would we have to release a
It
statement?
wouldn't fall
Well,
in your heads anyway.
It's actually
not us, but like if someone had to say something about it.
it's super easy too because we can say, hey, we showed up to stop these rioters who were
Exactly.
crazy. Didn't work, so we left.
So I'm just saying, like, you believe that this is the best way to go about this because if, in the case of some media, anything being in the vicinity, like...
Well, I think we have a good plan. I think it is also almost a convenience that finding, air control could be a walk across the barge, because that way you can kind of get a general census for the populace, see how things are like,
Everyone's got rebreathers.
learn the different names of the children before you blow it up.
Respirators?
Right.
Yeah,
What
respirator.
is that? Spike
Names of the
kids?
children.
It's a scuba.
Oh, hey,
You know what-
Jim. See ya.
You're looking a little blue. Let's turn that frown upside down.
Are respirators common just like
Mom's gonna be
in
punching you pretty
refugee settings? 'Cause that would be the
Not
other
necessarily.
problem.
Are we gonna look out of
Yes.
place on there?
They have security on board.
Well, the
But,
guards
like,
everywhere.
That's
You would want to stay covert, but it's
Yeah.
also night. It's on the night cycle, and I mean, Forge Worlds are set up on different shifts, so there's always the same amount of people awake. But as far as refugee camp, it's not going to be on it. It's such an efficient cycle.
right.
Cool. Well, I think we have it basically down to text.
Yeah. Let's see how well this plan works or doesn't work. I'm really excited.
First
about
things
all
first
of
is
this.
we go to the depot. First things first, we gotta talk to the medical dude. Say, hey, what exactly is the chemical we're gonna get?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We want rage.
What's that rage thing you were talking about again?
The green one or the
Doesn't-
blue one?
What does it look like, and where's the distributor?
Red and blue. Green. Be red and blue.
I can give you the location of a supply depot, and the chemical that you were looking for is R-4 AG3.
R-4 AG7.
No.
5, my lord.
Chlorine.
That would still work.
Oh, I was
Everything
thinking
smells like the
helium.
I'm pretty sure they used to use chlorine in chemical weapons, like during World War
I
One.
think it's in mustard.
They used to do mustard gas, but like they were like, what if we throw other cleaning supplies at people? Bleach.
Everyone's super hot.
They're all like speaking helium, and he comes in.
It was a crazy time.
I'm so sorry, Nick. It's amazing.
Where?
I lost the game.
Oh, Cody.
Womp womp.
You know how long it's been since we've lost the game?
I know. She
Way
did it.
longer than normal. I'm proud of you.
Man, thanks.
Way to spin that.
Okay. Look. So Little Mark's like, okay, are we ready to board?
Let's.
Do we
I'm ready.
care about figuring out exactly the specifics on these ships? We know exactly where to go.
Can we do that en route?
Well, once you get on board, you can download
Oh yeah.
Schematics.
schematics.
That works. Works for me.
Yeah, and, we have people who
The control tower would, of course, have those as well.
Exactly.
Well,
so
that's you guys are going to be done before we're done with the depot, anyways.
Right.
hopefully.
We take a long time shopping.
Shopping with guns.
Cool.
The cheapest kind of shopping.
Never mind.
One of those
good old clothes.
Neato. All right, so
Christmas is on me.
you guys load up into the Chimera and make out over the waist, and you get to
It's not very romantic.
you get to a landing pad where it's just basically a spot that's been cleared out on the waist, and Valkyries are there waiting. Let's go ahead real quick and just give a brief summary to Bill about the game plan.
Oh gosh.
Still with the guard.
Yep.
We just barely finished our strategy.
Would Wilbur have paid attention? I don't know.
Hey, he's gonna shoot people as long as he's shooting with us and not at us. Like, I'm okay with him.
Were you here when we discussed what we're actually even doing?
We
His
did not know.
character
We were deciding amongst the three options when I.
Oh,
So-
okay. So you know we're dealing with the barges one.
Yes.
Barges have 100,000 people each on them, probably more.
Those are large.
500,000.
Yeah, large barge.
Like 100,000 to
large
500,000 people.
barge. So we're gonna get this chemical called Rage, put it in the air supply, start a huge riot. Then we're gonna go to their thrusters and turn them on all the way, overriding all safety features, and they're gonna shoot up into the flux, shut off, and then fall gloriously to the waste. And
Yeah,
probably
Sounds like a good plan.
Hopefully we get off before that.
it's okay. We're
We can jump
Elysians.
off. We have
Yeah.
our thrusters.
Let's jump off into the flux.
Oh.
We'll fall fast for a while, then turn the thrusters on.
Well, that's the
That's
thing
half the
is
fun.
we shouldn't need to even be on there for very long.
Yeah, it'll be cool. I feel like
Like once the
Relatively
rioting
quick.
starts, like I would say that's our cue.
To get to the thrusters.
Well, yeah, and then go
And then leave.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit and watch it happen.
make like a tree.
I sort of want
Get
to,
out
but
of here.
you just sit down. See you guys.
I just want to see how this plays out.
Hopefully it works.
There's so much rage.
Perfect.
Oh, and first we have to go to the depot.
Yeah.
Get the chemicals.
Not Home Depot. Chemical Depot.
Chemical depot.
Mechanicum Depot,
Mechanicum Depot.
where they sell metal lumber.
Oh, gee.
Despot.
best kind.
Hey, we're looking for your extermination aisle.
That's a good one.
They would have that.
Oh dear. Alright, so the Valkyries take off, fly into the sunset. Just kidding, it's almost night. And by the time that you guys get to the Anvil Forge, it is night.
There we go.
One of the Valkyries breaks off and heads towards the control tower, carrying Captain James Lenore on it. And you guys are all headed off towards the depot. As you are on your way, a message comes from James. And he says, alright, so he says, so essentially, because of the nature of the Elysian deployment on this world, according to them, I have rights by the Omnicide to see pretty much anything I want that's not classified. The barges are certainly not classified. So I do have shift times and stuff, and I have access to security footage and stuff. Guys, these barges are packed. Something to note, though, turns out these barges are actually due for essentially, it's called an atmosphere exchange. And so basically, they have a bunch of filters in the place, and those are filtered. Those are rotated annually and biannually, but they have great tanks of oxygen that are rigged and hooked up because these things are essentially floating tubes. So they have to filter the air in, and so they pull all the bad air out and pull away tanks of carbon dioxide to be atomically converted. But I'm just saying, they're coming up on a maintenance cycle, so you could
Be maintenance workers.
you could take that approach.
Hmm.
And just steal all their air.
Disguises.
Well, incorporate rage into the air.
Oh yeah. That was basically it.
Yeah. But
That's good.
now it's like believable.
Mm-hmm.
What about if we didn't disguise ourselves and we just went in as a guard inspection team?
I was
make sure
about
that
to
was done?
say, could you like log something in on the ships that we're just showing up to be
present for the exchange or whatever. Like,
He says something muffled off screen. If they had a Magos escort, 100%.
Who wants to dress up like a magus?
I have
Wilbur.
legs
for it.
Oh,
You
you
do have
do
the
have the
legs.
legs. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Maybe we can ask Phoebe where she got her mask.
Not with you guys.
You don't know Phoebe.
You can call her.
Hey, Phoebe.
And that's also
Why?
only
not
one of
hard.
3 teams that are going in, though.
She's just a
That's
mercenary.
You know, you can't be in 3 places at once.
That's
or
true.
can you?
Just split my body parts up enough.
We gotta cut off something else.
Just like attach your arm to like a robot,
Yeah.
attach your other arm to a different robot, get robot arms. It'll work out. It'll be fine.
Stock puppets.
Just have the robot arms that are just like tubes with claws on the end. Yeah. You just swing them around.
Old school robot.
I
Like,
am
you don't
Bender.
even control them.
Jesus,
Yeah, it's just like. I like the disguise idea because I agree with what Z said that there's no.
Especially if it's scheduled.
Yeah.
You just make up names. Easier. As long as we have someone that looks like a Magos and it's scheduled, they'll just pull it up on their information and be like, "Burp, sounds good."
Turns out I actually have the power to notify the depot that you're coming as well.
Yeah, we're doing that too.
Okay.
Do we-
I am thinking.
Do we want it scheduled that we're taking a buttload of rage stuff right before a bunch of people are about to go into a riot?
Yeah, I'm wondering about like whether or not. So it makes it more convenient for us getting on there, but like when people look through the records, they're like, all 3 of these got.
All have these
Last minute
symptoms.
adjustment.
All happened all at once at the same time. A depot just removed a bunch of rage.
We could have your acquisition of rage be classified under a misshipment as well, like you were supposed to pick up oxygen and oops.
That would actually.
No,
That
then
would
we'll
get
just.
us in trouble.
I was gonna say then we'll just be all good court-martial basically.
Essentially, they would want to give the servitor punishment to the Magos who caused that grievous error, but if there is no Magos, then the error is void.
I'm down.
That's true. They
And
can't
lost
blame a bunch of guards who
To
are
an
just.
inconsistency in the
taking
records.
Well, they just don't even have to know it's us because for all they know, all the people who dropped off the rage never got off the barge.
Sure, sure.
Plus, no one suspects cards.
Yeah.
No,
true.
we just show up and do what we're told.
You even said, man, you guys are pretty strategic for a group
I was
of
gonna
common
say,
guards.
we're doing better than our acolytes
Well-
usually do.
Typically, guardsmen don't live very long.
What?
What?
Way to go, Wilbur.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, tell them that we're coming to pick up our drugs.
We'll be expecting you. God Emperor protect.
Amen.
Oh.
Yeah, now this is basically just a chore.
What?
We're not gonna shoot anybody.
I mean, we
Wow,
can shoot
that
people
attitude.
along the way. Like, if the rage is induced, we're gonna have to defend ourselves.
I wonder, as
And
Cast
you can just
this,
shoot for
like-
fun anyway.
you have a plasma gun, and I don't feel like a lot of people have plasma weapons, so you might want to be careful using that until it's
I use the shotgun.
well, like just initially, but
Just don't overcharge it. You'll be good.
Don't roll a 1.
We all die.
Is that right? Like in this campaign, that's like the second plasma weapon I've seen, and as Castus, that's the first. Oh no, that's the second one as Castus I've seen.
Plasma's rare.
A 10-man guard squad would always have one special weapon, normally a flamer, though. The plasma would be like,
Nice.
you know, nicer than the flamer, so it's there. You know,
Okay.
command squads would probably have one.
But like on a barge that doesn't really have like the actual guard there, but has like the guard militia, you know,
Oh yeah.
they probably wouldn't have a plasma gun. That's gonna draw some attention.
Just
Well, if
pull.
you're there on official business.
Yeah, just pull your fancy stormtrooper crap.
And,
then.
and honestly, on these barges, riots and plague have already been an issue
Okay.
because of the overpopulation and lack of resources. And so having a little extra firepower with you is not necessarily an eyebrow raiser.
That makes sense to me.
Justified.
All right, so we go pick up our drugs.
Cool.
Did I?
Best kind of pickup.
All right, so
driver.
No,
Okay.
Yeah,
so the Valkyries, the 4 Valkyries are just flying in formation to this depot.
and they land, and servitors are actually, and these ones are mounted on shreds. They come rolling out of these warehouses, and they already have essentially these trailers with these giant tanks on them. And each barge is supposed to get 3 of these. And essentially the tank is, it's about as long as this table, probably 4 feet in radius, like just, big drums essentially. Like any oxygen tank you can go see at like a gas station or something. Typically filled with gasoline, I guess.
Propane.
Yes, propane. So stuff like that. These are just standard Valkyries. So I think they can probably still store them inside, right? Because you just drop that back gate, wheel them in.
We'd have to. Didn't we have? Oh no, that was the guy.
Maybe one or two.
1 or 2. I don't think 3. Well, they're all like stacked up, like in little triangle bundles, I guess.
That works.
I don't know if they'll fit.
Valkyrie could lift them.
Yeah, could lift them, no problem.
We have 6 Valkyries, don't we?
Well, and they're not full capacity, and Valkyries are
Well, one went off,
like 30
Oh, yeah.
people, or
so we have 5.
in the lore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe in the lore you're right.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going off tabletop because.
Yeah, in the lore you're right. I think you could probably fit a platoon in there. So.
Okay.
Holy crap.
Well, platoon minimum is 3 squads. So 2 squads in a command group. But
Yeah.
so that probably would be lore sensitive 30. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll say they can fit
There we
for
go.
Humvees.
They fit.
Like a
If
cat.
they fit, they fit. Cool.
Especially sized to fit inside of Valkyrie.
Yeah.
We had
There
to
you go.
water them up.
Intelligence
You guys
tests.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, dude.
Is there any particular kind of intelligence?
20.
64.
57.
7.
7. Ew. That's right. Those are my deck
You crit
dice.
7?
Yeah.
Who did?
Bill.
That's so funny. So as far as transporting these around the barge, looks like it could be kind of difficult. These are all on treads. So these trailers are kind of like they can be operated essentially. They just need operators.
Hey, we have one of those.
So you crit 7 on like, oh shoot, we're gonna need to figure that one out.
No.
But you guys
I
have an
mean-
operator, so it's not a huge concern for you.
I've
I
seen
also
these things
passed my
before,
intelligence.
apparently.
You have
Little did
you
we
rode
know.
Before.
down from the
You're like-
sky.
Before you were cards.
Pretty much.
The tales of Wilbur.
He's
Before you
like,
worked at
hey man, we're gonna need an operator. And I'm like, I know.
That's cool.
I figured it out.
Cool.
Because I passed
You-
mine.
You bad. What's your intelligence?
I didn't. I'm like, I'll pick it
I'm
up.
really smart, but
I'll
I'm
pick it up.
particularly agile.
Perfect.
That's also what that was too. That was like his one vector.
So the Valkyries all depart
Walks
from this
away.
facility. Actually, is there anything you want to do while you're here?
Did we end up getting?
If you're my, you said you wanted to disguise it.
Yeah, do we need mechanics
Do we care?
uniforms? I thought we did, but maybe we don't.
I mean, we wanted
Or
like.
did we want to be a guard present for this thing? Was that a thing we were doing?
I think we were fine as guards, but they wanted like
A
a
Magos.
Magos with
We
each
didn't
group.
have a Magos for each group. We have half a Magos for one group.
We can just try and be like, hey, you're on Magos, but we were told to deliver these things. We're a guard. That's what we're told. Look at your stupid report.
I agree.
You didn't get
Yeah.
a report?
Let's bluster our way in.
Technology?
I don't file reports. I just
Maybe you're not a Magos, but you're a Magos emissary, and you can, speak for your Magos.
Ooh, we were
Only
expecting a lot out of
applies to
Harold
one
today.
trait.
He crit 7.
He did crit 7.
He's like, got this pig. Didn't even pay attention.
well, I can try.
Let's do it. Let's do it too.
If they doubt you, show them that tattoo. Tell them if they don't know what it means, then they need to let you pass because that's what it says.
I got this tattoo just for this part.
We were out of
This is good
paper.
mom.
They're gonna read and be like, it just says you owe us legs.
Oh my god. Wait, can I have like command as a skill? If they're like guards, can I just be like, hey, this is what we're here for, let us through?
It's for fellow members and just like
Oh, that's
Something
not
like
for okay.
I have intimidate.
people beneath you, like NPCs.
That is not bad.
I'll use
So
it worst
you
case
get a
scenario.
bonus to resist.
Okay.
Intimidate is handy.
Neato.
I'm not intimidated.
Things that are useful.
All right,
What?
so the Valkyries are in the air and they're cruising back, and you go over the Great Wall, the walls in the forge, and flying out over the waste, and pretty long flight, but not anything too crazy. But eventually, you see these like black silhouettes that are just like dimming out, because the flux is still having its storm, so you can see the lightning through these thick clouds up above, and so the horizon's always kind of being lit somehow. Especially from like the next forge over, and other things like that. So you see these black silhouettes looming with different light sources all over them in the distance and whatnot. And you said you guys wanted to take the front barge.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
middle
Yeah.
Okay.
is the one we mentioned.
Cool. So, I will say, barges are essentially flying like this.
Yeah, we want
so I
the
guess
middle one.
the front is also the middle.
No, we don't want the front one. We want the middle one.
But
Oh no.
Dad, what?
You've run into a conundrum.
okay, so if we approach it from a different angle, it will no longer be in front.
That's right. It'll be in the middle.
Yep.
Perspective. It's too much for Castus to take in.
So I think what he
Yes.
wants us to do is come around from behind and then go onto it instead of just.
No, that's perfect. No, I think.
Way to enter the most awkward way.
Well, the strategy is to come around and then split off instead of going and then having two people split in different ways. It looked weird that way.
You know what's so funny? Like if we do that, they're gonna be like, "What? Why?"
What are they doing?
Cool. Where do you want the other ones going?
Wait, we can just go straight in. We don't have to go. I was just kidding.
The other ones.
So we're having the two normal groups go to the other two, right?
Yeah.
And then the sniper team stays back as backup and maybe checks the wreckage to make sure nobody survives.
Yeah, the Valkyrie with the sniper team running the perimeter, and then if the other teams need help, they can ask him for it. Take the shot. Take the shot.
Well, we have two teams that are support then. We have a sniper team and then the fifth team because the captain ended up leading a 16.
Oh yeah, but the fifth team is the Valkyrie team, so that's why we have all the Valkyries.
Oh, that's a team in and of itself that's flying.
Mhm.
Cool, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
It's like this.
Yes.
So are we taking? So then we're taking the other two standard squads for the other two barges.
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Mhm.
Right.
Guard, PCs, snipes.
Nippy boy. Alright.
Snippy boy.
What are they going to snipe?
What?
What are they going to snipe?
Come on. That's
They're just going to feel important.
there's a reason they're backup
Yeah.
instead of on the ships.
It's like one of those things where I was like, well, they're not going to do great close range, I guess, because they're built for long range, and this isn't really a long range
They can
thing.
snipe anybody that's trying to quell the riot. They can
Yeah,
just be like,
anybody
hey,
on
he's trying to help.
Shoot people's Promethean tanks for their flamethrowers.
Just cause general mayhem once we tell them to.
Maybe they can just snipe at will.
It's like, yeah,
Just
things have
just
gone bad.
shoot
Just
at
have some
random
fun, I
places.
guess.
Anyway.
Your transmission
That's how we do.
come to the Valkyrie.
Hey guys, quit talking about it.
Elysian Guard, we see you approaching. What is your intent and purpose?
We? Oh, you're in charge.
I'm in charge of that.
You're the
Yeah.
stormtrooper.
You're the leader.
We're having this conversation.
All right, I'll talk to him.
This is Alpha Barge of the Barrow Cluster.
Hello, Alpha Barge of the Barrow
Ow.
Cluster. This is Stormtrooper Castus. We're just here dropping off some supplies.
What supplies are you intending on dropping off? Is this the food storage we were promised?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Wait,
Was I supposed to say something else?
we're not
We have-
food storage. We're here to bring the air replacements.
That's what it is. Sorry.
He didn't pay attention
Yeah.
during the.
I'm
briefing.
sorry. We're there's a lot of stuff shifting back here. I meant not the food, but we're here for we're bringing the air.
Oh, the atmosphere retrieval.
Yeah.
Very good. Approach bay C4.
C4
Quite ominous.
All right. The guy said go to
Oh,
F7.
C4.
Castus, you're fired.
Yes, this is way more serious than this.
You're right, but not today.
You're being deco.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You are being
I
Deco.
missed Deco. I'll be Castus. All right, C4, here we come.
I'll be pissed.
There's Castus.
All right, so
Those weird things in his sleep.
Just in a
so
sleep.
you guys land in this essentially shipping dock, and just even from the outside, these barges look really weathered, pretty worn down. Operator, do an operate test.
Na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Nope.
Neato. All right, so Valkyrie land's successful because you do have a good pilot.
Oh.
And the Valkyrie it also lands in reverse so that you guys can pull the tanks out.
There we go.
Back up.
Excellent.
Let's pop open that back door.
All right, let's go replace.
So you guys drop the back hatch of the Valkyrie, and I'm assuming you're gonna pull out the goods.
Let's do
Do
it.
a
Only the best
operate
goods.
test. It's actually like a +30 because it's an easy test.
How big was the actual canisters of chemicals, though?
As big as this.
How big was the
This
air?
is
Same size.
Intelligence, right?
Oh, 40 to 50, 50
It was an
ratio.
88.
Sweet merciful. Use your fate point.
My one fate point.
Wait, what was it? What was the number?
88, not 68.
Don't
Yeah.
spill. Don't crack the chemicals open in here.
Well, we should have our respirators on at this point.
Does everybody have their respirators on?
I figured.
I have my
just
respirator
did.
on, sir.
We're Elysians. We
What
always
do
have
respirators look like?
I imagine we look like fighter pilots. Those people.
Yeah.
Just put on my respirator and then put on my other helmet again.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Fate point, or do you don't?
I don't want to use it
I'm just
now.
saying.
We're about.
Well, okay.
Except
Yeah, so this thing lurches forward and just slams into the back like of the inside of the Valkyrie, just
Oh.
like that. I'd read.
Even.
Interesting. So there's actually some damage to the internal systems of this Valkyrie, not so much the goods.
Oh.
we don't care about the Valkyrie.
Come on.
Cool.
We just break
No.
the loading door.
You get it?
My gun.
Are there other
My
vehicles
guard
in this
guys.
loading area? Just out of curiosity.
Guard guys.
Is there any other
Guys.
vehicles?
Like, do we see any other vehicles, aircraft, anything like that in this loading area?
Humans were so territorial.
There's like a little light hauler, couple ground vehicles. There's a power lifter, sentinel walker.
Wait.
How far away is our location from here?
You could actually use an intelligence test.
Yeah, you could.
So you see that power lifter in the corner, and you're pretty sure that you could actually just haul these canisters with your walker. You
Yeah,
can't
sure.
drive a lift.
Okay.
Are you forklift certified?
Would we know if this place has like
Don't robots run
parachutes?
forklifts now?
No, we have. That comes with our gear.
like this place though? Like if people wanted to escape while it was falling,
That's
They,
what the
jump.
extra Valkyries are for.
Just sniping out the air.
Not Valkyries, just Alvis or Arvis light haulers or whatever those are.
Arvis
Oh,
lighters.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple of those.
Those are good. No guns.
Just hit them.
They're like school buses with wings.
Oh my gosh!
I
Can
want
you
one.
imagine hitting someone with a school bus with wings?
Paper school buses with wings.
Yeah.
Useless.
Cover it.
Alright, well, let's pick up tanks and deliver the booze.
Go
You
ahead
got
and
this.
do a operation test.
Here it comes.
Why is this on me?
It was 0. It was rolling that way.
Roll it again. It cocked. Cool. It was a plus 20 on the test. You passed.
Hey, is operator agility or intelligence? It's been a while.
So
Agility. Oh, my agility is so good. Neat.
You know.
So then I only missed it by 3 points anyways. But plus.
oh, neato.
Continue.
All right, so you're able to power this thing up and secure these tanks.
Turn 2.
And I guess we just are walking with it.
Let's get the map first. Of the area.
Oh,
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
I can go do that.
Ah,
I'll go find a map.
they
There-
should just have like a little.
Is there a little console somewhere nearby?
Yeah, we can just download a quick
There it
map.
is. It'll require either a security test or a tech use test.
I have tech use.
I don't have either of those.
I shoot a big gun.
It'll be a
I
tech use minus 10.
I can intimidate it.
Do we need to blow up the console?
No,
You
but
can
I don't know.
Can I just talk to someone? Is there a dude nearby like, hey, I need a map? I don't know how to work your
Perception test.
fancy act that.
Bullshit. Supposed. So what'd you roll?
56.
Oh, the guy's like, I don't know you. Why do you need a map? Haven't you guys dropped stuff off here before?
I'll talk to someone else.
It just walks away.
You offended the God Emperor. I am done with you.
I'm gonna say, hey, excuse me. What's your name?
Kyle.
No.
Hey
Okay,
Kyle, this is I'm sure you cast this. This is our first time here, and there's just some crap duty that we don't want to do. So can you just help us get the map so we can get out of here?
Fellowship test plus 10.
Nice.
32, I pass.
Yeah, man, honestly, my shift's about over anyway, so here, just take the map.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
gonna upload it to your data slate.
Thanks, Kyle. Hey, I like Kyle.
Kyle's gonna die.
Oh,
Oh.
I was talking about
that
fake
may be
Kyle.
Kyle's last words.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, I got the map. Do I need navigator surface to know where we're supposed to go, or is that
That wouldn't be for this area.
okay?
Essentially, you'd want to use that on the surface of the planet, not the ship. You'd have to have navigate, essentially ship or hive or something. I don't know.
Does anyone have navigate? I
No.
do not.
You'd be. It's weird that I don't have navigate.
That is
You
Actually.
can get it. You should get it.
Can we just kind of?
Upgrade my
The map makes it easy to find it, right?
Yeah.
Can we
Alright.
follow
You are
directions?
here. Go.
Cool. So
here.
Kyle opens up the access doors into the hive, and this particular hangar, because of its utility nature, you have direct access to the engineering highway.
Wait, let's go.
So it's like a little convoy of these tanks now.
Just like the Sentinel Walker carrying the tanks,
Okay.
and then everybody like on foot, unless you wanted to figure out a vehicle.
No, that works.
I think on foot's fine.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so you guys are going along, and essentially this road system weaves in and out of different kind of patchwork hab units that have been kind of clustered onto this surface. There's rust and grime anywhere. You can actually hear a high volume of voices just from people below, talking and stuff. Lights are on and off, and the different habitants according to different sleep cycles. It smells pretty foul in here. There's surprisingly, even though you're on this kind of barge, there's different like local vermin and stuff that you can see like running along pipes and whatever else. Nothing major, but as far as your schematics go, with the hive and everything else, actually, I need to be part of the board. We draw giant square for floating barge. We'll say you guys entered over here, and the utility highway accesses a network, and there's different forks that go depending on where they're needed. Forward control is going to be on the bottom level at the front, and then your air intake and access is actually up here closer to the top.
So we're going the wrong way?
No.
Oh.
You essentially.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going.
So the two places we need to go are on the opposite ends.
Opposite ends and opposite heights.
Yeah.
Will we have time to
We don't
attach the?
Where do you want to go first? Do you want to do air or control?
we gotta
Or do you want to break
air.
apart?
We gotta do air first.
Air first, and
we
then-
actually might need to split apart and coordinate this.
You know, this is what I'm thinking. If we get to the bottom where the thrusters are, I'm sure there's a place where we can jump out. Could we see that on the map if there's like an emergency exit by like in the thruster area on the very bottom?
There's different evacuation pods. Noticeably fewer pods than personnel.
So this is.
So here's the thing. Control, bottom floor. Atmosphere control is closer to the top.
So can we attach the new tanks and then go to control to initiate the tanks? Like, can you control?
You would
other
initiate
systems?
the atmosphere from there.
How long would it take? Do we know how long it's going to take for the rage to actually like start getting the people going?
Oh no!
Like,
They get jammed.
You're thinking, how long the chemical would take?
yeah, before people are like rioting.
Honestly, could be anywhere from like 15 minutes to a day for full effect.
Oh, we got time.
15 minutes.
15 minutes to a day. I choose to ignore the 15 minutes and go for the day.
I mean, even
Classic
worst case
death
scenario, we
row.
just have to shoot people.
I would
Yeah.
say effects would start to take place pretty quick.
We're protected, so
A new aspect has been thrown into the though. If we're
What?
trying to be hyper efficient about this, there are escape pods on this as well.
There are.
That's
But
what he said
we'll-
on the bottom. So if we rage.
Well, throughout, like on the side.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
shoot.
thinking if we rage and then.
I don't know if there'd be a way to mechanically disrupt all the escape pods.
I don't think that they'll be in the right mindset to be able to control.
Yeah, that's why the rage does need to be first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you hit control, you could do an emergency jettison of all pods.
Oh, just send them all off.
Yeah.
Well, can't
I was
we-
thinking.
Don't we have, I mean, is there any way that the captain can take care of something like that from the control?
From the piloting room.
Yeah.
You want to ask him?
Yeah. Our Vox team, where are they?
Do a techniques test to see if you can use that box.
Some bro just chilling this
Plus
huge
30.
radio on him.
It's not.
Alright. Yeah, you can't raise him right now.
It's not a concern if the rage stuff. works,
Yeah,
it's fine.
Just as Castus, can I do a tactical Imperialis test to see what would be the most effective way to hit this in accomplishing our mission at the same time?
Well, you know you don't want people to leave,
Right.
so the pods thing definitely resonates
First.
with you.
Uh-huh.
You know that the atmosphere changes will take place over time,
Right.
so it might be better to prioritize the atmosphere stuff first.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, with the control room set below deck and whatever, by the time you get there, you would know effects would already be
Right.
starting up. A thought crosses your mind as you're thinking about this, and that's you jettison all the pods and something goes wrong with the Valkyrie since there's repairs going on, you might need a pod to get out.
But don't we have the
It grabs
we can
you.
just jump?
You're not going to want to use those in the flux. That's death.
Oh, are we going
We
to be
can
in
jump
the
out
flux
before
by
the
the
Yeah,
time?
but can't we jump out into the flux and just like free fall until we're safe to initiate our?
So the flux is basically a storm just filled with like horrible like static electricity.
Are we?
Yeah.
Wait, are we in the flux right now?
No. But if you wanted to do that
Below it,
thruster
the
effect
thrusters
that you were talking about,
Uh-huh.
We would
God.
reach a flux before we could get aboard and hop off.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like I do that.
Is there a way to like jettison
you would
everything?
have a certain amount of time to jump before you hit the flux. But if you missed that window, yeah. You'd be in the flux.
Got like
Okay. Is it possible to jettison everything except for like the ones in the room we're going to be in anyway?
Possibly that would require a good tech use.
someone going into the mainframe, being like, "Not you,
Okay.
unselect."
So this is,
Theoretically,
I was just going to say, this is what I'm thinking. We know the rage will take time. We go do rage first. We go down to the bottom floor when that'll already start taking effect. We're going to pick a couple pods that we'll guard, and we'll have a couple of us guard those pods, and then we'll jettison all the other pods.
Yeah. What are we even nervous about with these rage boys? It's just going to be a bunch of angry, unarmed people. Could literally
not
just be
everyone.
like, kick
They've
them
probably
They're
got
garbage
ships
humans.
and stuff.
Yeah,
No.
It's not a prison compound.
I think we'll be okay there because it's not going to be. We're not going to be targeted. They're going to target everyone. Everyone's going to be
And-
targeted.
We have big gun people.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Z?
I don't remember.
Now
I'll bring it up if I.
I'll just set everyone on fire.
Oh, I was thinking. Technically, we could, if we were really worried about it, like have one team stay behind to do the jettison and then try and like get like minimize the risk for everybody except for like 2 people. But we don't have to do that.
That can be
It would
like
be me
super
that got
You're
planned.
talking like see the mission
behind.
through kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be like super like planned below Z.
Yeah, I mean, who cares if like a person who doesn't even have a teammate dies?
I would kill all of you.
Hey, for the blood god.
Blood- Actually, I'd be down for that.
Anyway,
Well, let's just stick to the plan as
I could probably do the
Figure it
tech use test better than our tech person though.
Got her.
Wow, that reminded me of Shay for like a hot second.
She's a good person.
She is a good person.
he's a good person.
He's all right.
Not anymore.
Or last name.
All right. So are we good? We good to go?
Dark up and good to
Oh, yeah, let's just stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Let's rage it up. We don't need to freak out.
Yeah, let's just shoot the gas in the system and then go control the things we need to control.
Yeah, we can just have the snipers shoot the escape pods that get on the floor.
I didn't
The
think
sniper team is so useful, man.
Put the gas in the gas place, control in the
Ex
control place.
machina.
Yeah.
Ex
That is the most
machina.
guardiest way to put it.
I say it wrong every time.
Embarrassing.
It kills my dad. My dad's like, it's ex machina. And I'm like, shut up, Dad.
Alright, so you get to an area where the highway actually gets level with the general populace, and so people are partying to let this sentinel walker through because that's a little more intimidating than maybe a couple dudes walking down the street.
With the guard escort.
With a guard escort, yes.
I'm a sensitive individual.
True.
Do an awareness test on the perception, whatever you got on these people.
Oh boy. Nothing.
Perception?
I
Nope.
Is that something all of us can do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
alright. Well, he got a 20. So
You got
Wilbur-
27?
20.
Wilbur's on a high.
Wilbur's
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
yeah. So you're just kind of
super
itching
in
for,
zone.
you're doing the thing with your. Does he have twitchy hands or is that your other guy? Your other guy has twitchy.
Other guy.
Yeah.
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 Other guy's
I also
missing.
have twitchy.
He has twitchy. I'm missing figures.
Oh, Wilbur's. Oh, wait, you're twitchy. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sorry, it kind of blends. So yeah, you're noticing that. I mean, people look pretty poor and whatnot, and there's a lot of people like coughing and have different swords and stuff. But
Yeah.
you also see that
Good to know
there's
they
actually a good number of weapons.
and stuff that you're spotting around
Mhm.
and whatever else, and you see that there's the occasional people that are just kind of keeping their eyes on you from the shadows. Like, definitely, like, I don't know, you guys are kind of a source of, I don't know, wealth or possible food or something.
Oh,
And
are they wrong?
You're
Or
just
death.
essentially pretty aware of the situation.
Wilbur's gonna be like, why do I feel like I'm being sized up like a piece of steak?
Because you kind of look like steak. You look yummy.
I feel
Alright.
uncomfortable, so I'm gonna pretend I can't hear
Nice.
anything.
You can
You
feed
know.
extra people.
Music.
We could kill these people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're worthless.
I mean,
And potentially cultists. So
So worse than worthless.
I'm so excited.
Cool. So
For the
you end up making it all the way to atmosphere control, and there's a dude who's in this. Oh gosh, it's not like a shed. It's not a.
that booth.
It's like a booth. Yes, thank you. It's like this little covered booth, and he's like right in front of this big door that's supposed to open for access, and he like doesn't even look up, and he's like, clearance number.
radio the captain real quick.
Was it? I can't remember it.
He's got like this crappy little pen move that he's mastered, and he's just sitting there doing that, and he looks up.
Hold, please. Just radio the captain. We know we're cleared. Just
No, like that guy gave us like a code.
He gave
what?
What guy?
What guy?
Oh no.
It was for the chemical.
Yeah.
that was for the
not-
atmospheric.
Intelligence test plus 30, Mr. Harold.
Jeez. Oh wait. Nope.
Plus 30?
One off.
Not the smartest individual.
Wow. Okay. Neato.
It was oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh,
You're not thinking the code for rage, are you?
No. I'm thinking
wrote
of the
that one
code
down.
that he gave us to land. He was like, "Hey, land in C4," but I thought he gave us something else.
I don't think he gave us another code.
No. I'm just gonna say, hey, look, we're just here dropping this off. I can't remember. the
Just
stupid
look up
code.
the-
Just let us go in.
He's like, you should have a data slate with the order. It should have an access code in the top left corner.
Oh, there we go. I'm gonna pull up my data slate.
He goes, thank you. And this door, like, gears open.
He's the first
And
person.
whatnot, slowly.
Yeah, I was about to say
What?
that.
oh, we had the same thought.
What?
We
Can't
all
wait
were
for that
thinking
guy to
about
get out of
killing
here.
that guy.
Almost two.
Just walk out.
I
All of us
wonder-
just shoot into.
We just unload everything we have into this one dude.
Don't annoy guards.
It's so funny. Yeah, he was like done. He like showed up. He was already done.
I can just drop my carrier arms.
Thunk.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so you go into this great room, and there are many servitors laboring about. There is an engineer overseeing the work of a couple hundred slaves as they operate different valves and pulleys and whatever else on these machines that distribute oxygen and whatever else.
I'm gonna whisper to the team, if this guy starts doing any tests on these tanks, we need to kill this guy.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
He
I was gonna kill him.
he approaches you and speaks at you in binary.
Wonder if I know binary. Let me look real quick. Nope.
Do a
Tell him your binary processor's busted. I say that out loud.
he registers that.
Does he think you're a
Your
tech
binary
person?
process.
Like,
Why is he talking to him in binary?
what do you want? I can't understand you.
I would assume that the atmosphere exchange would be oversaw by the Magus of the other side. Who are you?
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Everyone.
to hear
Harold's
things
not
twice.
a liar.
Wait,
It's for the
Just a
goddess.
I'm a
partner.
cleric.
And okay, let's go back to
You're
what
lying for the
Warhammer is
Emperor.
about.
Hey, do we know how to
I have
attach
my
these up,
beliefs,
or do we
and
need
I
this guy's
prophesy.
help?
Oh, I won't. Maybe not that.
Oh, there's
I-
no help.
What's the word?
Yeah, we'd have to roll if we didn't have them, probably.
Oh,
So.
yeah.
Close enough.